Batwoman number 10, written by J.H. Williams III and W. Hayden Blackman, art by Trevor McCarthy. Last issue we left off with, it's still doing the branching story thing, but the final thing we left off on was Batwoman being kissed by Soon. Big shock there, and then this issue picks up immediately afterwards where she immediately separates and is just like, dude, what are you doing? And she's like, I craved you, Batwoman. But then she immediately gets up and goes over to Falchion, who is, like, significantly dying at this point, and she plunges a sword into his chest, to which Batwoman does not respond positively to. Cut over to Maggie's story. There is another girl who's been killed, and basically they think it's, again, La Llorona, and Maggie's met up with by Jim Gordon, and Jim's basically, it seems like we're in the middle of a conversation here, but Maggie's just like, look, I know that everyone's calling on me to, like, resign or at least leave the case, but I'm close here, Jim, and I just need you to trust me, okay? And Jim's like, just please get this done. And she's like, will do, totally. So she walks away, and she goes up to the top of a hill, and she makes a call, and someone else answers to whoever she's reaching, but then she finally gets through to someone. She says, hi, Pixie. I just need to hear your voice, sweetheart. So, whoever this may be. Then we cut over to Jacob Kane, still in the hospital with Bet, and he's just basically talking to her and recounting a story of how he always tried to, like, you know, he was trying to protect his daughters throughout the life, and at one point their family cat got sick, and so he took it outside and put it down with his 44, and he tried to keep the daughter shielded from it, but both his daughters ended up seeing it, and Beth ended up crying and crying and crying, whereas Kate she just grabbed a shovel and helped out. So he sees a lot of himself in Kate and how much he, you know, is there and is defensive, but then he realizes as he's talking that he thinks that despite the fact he wasn't anything like Beth, he might have loved her more than Kate, and that seems to be a really hard thing for him to come to grips with. Then we cut to Chase's story. He's down in the whole group on their way to attack Falchion is down in the sewers, and they meet up with Killer Croc, who basically just straight up, like, they had the drop on him, and they're like, all right, give up, Killer Croc, and we promise we'll go easy on you. He's like, LOL, right? And he points up to right above him in these sewer lines, and there's just all these bombs there, and it just goes off and just destroys everything around. Killer Croc obviously gets away, but then we see that Chase is going up to one of her fellow agents named McDonough, who he's not going to make it. He's not okay, and she's just there giving him some comfort. As Batwoman and Soon come up and say, like, hey, we're close. Do you want to come with? We need to go do this now. And Chase is just like, no, I got this to do. You guys go handle this, and I'll be here. So she just comforts the dying agent. Then we cut to Kate's story. I think at the exact same time as, no, sorry, it's about 7 hours after her father's story. And we see her as Batwoman just outside the hospital room, just seeing Bet and her father resting by her bedside. And then she goes off to do more superhero things. Then we get Morrow's story. And Morrow's story has always been the stuff that is showing how the monsters are made. And we finally see, okay, how did Killer Croc turn from kind of humanoid crocodile-looking guy to super beast crocodile? And we see that she has some thing where she's going to bring out, like, there was the ancient Egyptian god that had, like, a crocodile head, and there were other dragon beliefs in China or whatever, blah, blah, blah. She just throws out a bunch of mythological mumbo-jumbo, gets Wayland to drink some potion that she says is the blood of virgins, and then he becomes this super huge crocodile who's here to feed on a couple of sacrifices that they've laid out. So, yeah, there's that. Anyway, back to the main framing story. Batwoman grabs the sword out of Falchion and tells Soon off, like, no, we're not going to kill him. Stop with the murdering stuff. And Soon's like, no, the only thing that's going to end this is if he dies by his own sword. And he's like, no, we're going to do this the right way. And she's like, fine, whatever. So then she reveals, all right, he's out at least, so I can take my rightful place as the head of Medusa. And Batwoman is, of course, taken off guard. Like, what? You're actually evil? Like, we know she was. And then we see her shapeshift, and she stops being Soon and turns into Morrow, the one we've been following, the one that makes all the monsters. Turns out that Soon may have just been a disguise this whole time. But anyway, Morrow's just like, hi, I'm Morrow. Please kneel before me. And that's where we leave off. It's pretty simple overall in terms of the story. Honestly, I don't feel like there's nothing that really gets forwarded this issue, save for the framing device. Like, we get a little bit of character development with Jacob's story, which, to be fair, it's always been. We are like, did we really need to know how Killer Croc became that? Maybe the Maggie story is going to be a thing, but besides that, it's genuinely a pretty light issue overall. There's not a lot going on here, so it's not bad. The art, I would say, is pretty good throughout. I do like the panel where Soon just, it's very graphic. There are like 4 eyes and a bunch of just revealed tendons and muscles. I very much like the art there. And just throughout, it's also very good. Obviously, the layouts are fantastic as they have been. So, yeah, no, it's fine. It's just doesn't feel like plot-wise it's really doing anything. And as I've said for like the past 3 issues, I'm really tired of the multiple plot lines all at once because I feel like nothing's getting forwarded in any of them. Like, yes, we do have the occasional little, oh, here's something we're doing, but just tell me it linearly. I'm telling you that if I were to take these pages, once this arc is done, and put them in like proper chronological order, this story would make just as much sense. It would make far more sense even. So yeah, no, it's okay. It's fine. I'm giving it a 6.5, and that extra 0.5 is just for the art. Writing wise, I still think it's around a 6, and I'm just really tired of this framing device because reading week to week, it doesn't work. Reading in trade, it might work a bit better, but I don't think it does. I think that it genuinely still stays confusing that you are having these massive back and forth time jumps. So 6.5, and we'll get done probably next week. I don't know.